you just talked about one company. There's more to the story. And I'm like, calm down. Hey, it's Lance here, and today I'm going to talk about a woman who left a comment on my YouTube video and why she chose Eden's Garden over Young Living. Okay, so here's what she said. She said, I am a stay-at-home mom, and I have been with Young Living for a little over a year now. But some oils are too expensive for me, even if I look at DoTerras prices too. They are over my budget still. Alright, so I've done videos on affordability versus too expensive, so I'm going to summarize that and say it's not about price, it's about what you value, because people will spend $30 on oils or $30 on eating out or $3,000 on a vacation. So let's stay focused though. Okay, so she goes on to say, I mean, I'm not against any MLM companies. Okay, cool. And I would say as long as they're trading real products for real money and there's a value exchange, I'm cool with that. People trying to overly hard sell products or just recruit and sell for the business opportunity, I think those are some red flags, especially if a person's not looking for that or you don't know them that well. I've talked about that in other videos, but okay, we'll continue here. She says, just the pricing, though I did end up going to Eden's Garden because of their price and specifically using them for topical and diffusing. So that is some good customer feedback as well, right? She's more price sensitive is what I gather, and she just wanted the topical and aromatherapy aspects of the oil, and Eden's Garden was a better fit for her, even though she chooses Young Living as well. So, okay, I get where she stands. I understand that. She then says, I've only taken Young Living internally a few times, but still in general about oils, I do not feel comfortable about taking them that way, so I just decided to only diffuse and use on skin. I've done videos on the internal use of oils and how the brand, the quality, and the type of plant are very important, as well as the third-party testing that's involved and the verification of that testing and you being able to publicly see that as well so you can compare the GCMS testing results to different companies. That transparency is not done for the vast majority of companies, so that's more for doTERRA that I'm speaking to specifically, but it's, you know, that's why I do videos comparing other companies, because so many times people hear or, you know, say stuff on my comments or otherwise, or even just, you know, if I meet somebody that offers oils or used oils, and it's just like there's a lot of misinformation out there or half-truths or hearsay, and it's so important to understand what each company offers, whether you want their offer or not, or whether you agree with their business style as an MLM company or not. She goes on to say, the only other thing I don't like about MLM oil companies, oh, here we go, is how some of their reps act like bashing other MLM companies, and I just got tired of it. Oh, I think, okay, so they act like bashing. I think she meant to say maybe they talk negatively about them or in a way that's disrespectful. I don't know, because, okay, we'll finish this thought of hers and then I'll give some commentary. And then she says, so that kind of turned me to Eden's too. Okay, so people are going to have anti-MLM or for MLM, you know, positions or agendas or whatever it is. People are going to have anti-essential oil or for essential oil belief systems or values. People are going to have a lot of different beliefs and values. And just because you share something negative doesn't mean you're being negative all the time, because there's negative facts about a company that made a mistake or a person that made a mistake. But when you're disrespectful, like calling them out their name maybe, or using derogatory terms, I think that is more like cuss words, profanity, stuff like that. And, you know, just being disrespectful, you know, there's lots of ways you can do that, yelling, screaming, obviously, in person, but using all caps and just focusing way more on the person as the problem. Like, what I mean by that is, like, again, the cuss words and profanity, instead of what happened and what you can learn from it. I think the reasonable person, again, focuses on, I talk about this, but they focus on seeking understanding the truth, and the truth is not always pretty, okay? That's why people don't like it or like to hear it. And then also finding solutions for things. Unreasonable people focus on winning, being right, and the problem, and how they can blame or shame others or stage dramas to avoid taking personal responsibility or basically seeming wrong in their own eyes or by other people's eyes. So that's what we want to avoid, but that's what happens a lot because we don't get conflict resolution training when we're growing up, unless, and even if you do, you got to practice it. And even if you practice it, you may not always be the best because you're going to come across somebody that's really difficult, right? So that's why the book How to Solve Your People Problems is an amazing book. Link in the description on more information for that, so you can check that out. But that's really helped me. And that's why if I seem, you know, you can probably read my comments on other videos, you see like, man, Lance is just, you know, hitting them with the comments. That's, my intent is to help. Okay, so I give very constructive feedback. I'm very direct because people are dishing it out. So if you dish it out, you better be ready to take it, right? But the taking part that I'm giving involves an opportunity for us to have a reasonable discussion, if they're reasonable. You can't reason with an unreasonable person, unfortunately. But also a way for them to improve if they value personal development. Unreasonable people don't, but you know, that's why I throw stuff out there and see if they're open to it. And some people turn around. They're like, yeah, I read that book or I bought it, and it really helped me see where I can improve or where you were coming from. And I think that's the best end result. You know, somebody's like, this book is designed to help me be a better version of myself. Why wouldn't I buy it? Why wouldn't I read it at least once? Because as long as there's people, there's going to be problems. Whether it's your coworkers, your family, your significant other, your spouse, whoever it is, right? It doesn't matter. People you watch on YouTube, people you watch on Netflix, there's going to be problems. There's people, there's problems, right? So it's like, how do we manage that better? Anyways, she then followed up and kind of finalized here saying, I enjoyed some of your videos because when I first started, I didn't know where to start, and YL's kit was cheaper than DT's kit. LOL. Okay, so obviously very price sensitive again. I can see that. Understandable, right? But overall, I disagree that people who want to get started should find a company that suits their needs. Oh, no, she said, but overall, I do agree, little typo here, that people who want to get started should find a company that suits their needs. And I will qualify that with what Jordan Belfort says is it's the 3-10s rule. So when the person, product, and company are at 10, 10, and 10 in their mind, the action threshold lowers and the purchasing decision can happen more easily. And they only get to a 10 when they know, like, and trust the person, know, like, and trust the product or products, and know, like, and trust the company. All right, so that's why understanding other companies is important, which is why I share that on my channel, and also multiple people and multiple products. So that way you get a little bit more perspective, and you can kind of go from there. Okay, so here we go. So here is my response. Okay, so I responded back with, hi, thank you for sharing your experiences with YL and EG. So yeah, I noticed a lot of bashing going on between companies too, which is why I created videos that provide a more balanced view with fact-based information, even though a lot depends on what you believe. And that's the truth, right? You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not here to pull you to a side. I'm here to let you know what I have found to be the fact-based evidence, and I do add commentary or opinions on top of that as well. And so I try to be balanced with presenting pros and cons of both sides. I try, whether it may not always be in one video, right? I have other videos because sometimes you don't want a video to run an hour long, right? So I have other videos, which is what people maybe don't realize because they're just like, you just talked about one company. There's more to the story. And I'm like, calm down. This video link here, which is what I gave her, I was like, this video link, this video link. So in this particular case, I was like, there's the 3-way company comparison. So it's a playlist. So I compared doTERRA, Young Living, and Melaleuca Company because those are kind of like the, I want to say maybe top 3 network marketing essential oil companies. And I try to list, some things about them that if somebody's looking into just one of the companies, they'd at least be able to see that more side-by-side comparison. And that's standard with a lot of things, right? You see car companies do side-by-side comparisons and stuff like that, so you can kind of feel, get an idea of what each company's offering from features and benefits standpoint. And I gave a link to doTERRA versus Eden's Garden, so there's a link to that, so you can kind of see some of the stuff here. I mean, it's hard to see, but I'll have the links in the description below. So there's that video. And then I also followed up with saying, I can understand where you're coming from on price, and I created a couple videos below since the topic comes up so much. I would say for people who are open to essential oils and or network marketing companies that offer essential oils, price would probably be the most commonly heard objection. Like mostly it's too expensive. I'm gonna talk about that. And then if they're anti-MLM, it's typically that's a pyramid scheme, that's an MLM scam. Less than 1% make money, and all that. So I've done videos responding to those. I at least provided a reasonable response, even if people don't like the answer. So That's all I can do, right? Because I'm not here to people please, so I'm just here to keep it real. All right, so so what I did was gave her, there's a video that I gave on afford versus too expensive, and then another one on oils are too expensive. So those videos go more into mindset. It's about what you value, not about price. Price is a factor. I'm not saying it's not a factor. I'm saying it is a factor, but it's more about what you value. Again, somebody would say a $30 oil is too expensive, but then go have a $30 restaurant meal or spend $3,000 on a vacation. Okay, so that same person could do all three of those things. Oil's too expensive, but then eat out on a $3,000 vacation. So I'm not judging. I'm not demon. I'm just saying. Can we look at the bigger picture? Can we understand why we're saying stuff? That's all. I'm if somebody can have a aha moment or okay, I see where he's coming from moment. Cool. I'm not saying that gotta be like, yeah, that's really cheap, Lance. No, no, because cheap is not always better. Expensive is not always better. It's about what you value and being able to pay a price where you believe that the quality of the product or service is worth more than your money. And that exchange that happens is called the value exchange. And once that's exchanged, then you receive that value and you're like, boom, that product or service was worth my money, more than my money. My money's here, product or service here, and boom, that made sense, right? All right, so let's continue reading here. She actually responded back to me and she says, I am unable to even afford the monthly boxes like I used to because now we had to buy a new car for our growing family, which our car that we had doesn't fit our kids and now pay more bills, all right? Which is a little harder for me to ask my husband to buy oils because I don't have my own stream of income. So now it's like I buy what I really need with the oils, just like the other necessities like diapers, food, toiletries, etc. And then she said, I stumbled across Eden's because I was looking for a non-MLM company that I could afford without paying the higher price for the same things. So I think it's a common misconception that the oils are too expensive. I would say from the video comparisons and research that I've done, Young Living is most often than not more expensive than doTERRA. Even when you apply the discounts that you have as a loyal member, and Melaleuca is typically cheaper, but they don't offer the internal use like doTERRA. So from what I've seen, okay, this is Lance McGowan research, and I do have videos that summarize that research, but I believe doTERRA offers the best value because you get the internal side, you get the high quality, and you also get a reasonable price, especially when you factor in the discounts as a wholesale customer or a wellness advocate. Okay, so like the best of all the worlds, right? Price, quality, and being able to take them internally for the bottles that have supplement facts on the label. Boom, there you go. Okay, so I responded back here to her was saying, that makes sense. I've learned that covering the basics is most important and the affordability versus expensive topic is more about what we value / vote with our dollar with and not price. Okay, so I'm letting her know that whenever we say that's too expensive or I can't afford that, which is less, but it still happens, and I get that, right? I can't afford is more on like maybe like income potential issues. That's too expensive is more mindset, okay? And then I said the links above go into more detail of that as well. And that was the end of the conversation. And basically, I'm letting her know that I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, you definitely should pay your bills, right? I'm not saying buy oils over paying the light bill or buy oils instead of, like Dave Ramsey talks about, the 4 walls, right? It's your transportation, your food, your clothing, and your house or where you live. Those 4 things, right? So those 4 things are really important to make sure you got covered because that's what keeps you safe and secure and feeling like you have more of a handle on life. The essential oils or supplements with whatever company you choose are enhancements to your quality of life. And so those are not an additional expense, I would say. I would say they are a replacement cost for whatever you're doing to support the 4 walls. Boom, okay? So that is, again, a mindset thing, because if you've never heard of Dave Ramsey or you've never taken his Financial Peace University course or you've never looked at too expensive versus can't afford that way, then it's going to be new. You're probably not going to adopt it. It's going to be like, whatever, Lance, they're too expensive. Look at the price. Ain't happening. And I get that, but what I could also say is, well, let's look at your bank statement, okay, for the last 3 months, and let's see all the times you've eaten out, gone on vacation, paid a phone bill, paid a car bill, pay your house bill. We could easily see what you value based on where you spend your money and put that on a pie chart. That's like, okay, clearly you care about where you live, which is cool, right? That should be the biggest expense. Typically, the next biggest one is either debt for stuff, right? Or a car payment, or eating out, restaurants, maybe groceries. So food, house, transportation, those are going to be the biggest expenses, understandably so. But at the same time, those are what people value, and that's okay, right? I'm not saying don't value those. I'm just saying, like, it's important to know where the money's going, and it's important to know how much money you have left, and it's important to see, like, that whole process. Alright, well, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button if you did, hit subscribe for future video updates, and make sure to check out the links in the description below so you can continue to get your learn on, and I'll see you in the next video.